Welcome, spiritual soul. Welcome to this sacred space with my spirit guide portal, Yogananda. Yogananda wants to share with you today a message, some intuitive guidance on wealth and spirituality. He says that so many people think that wealth and spirituality, spiritual growth, are at odds with each other. In fact, he says, maybe you even believe that if you want to be wealthy, you have to give up spiritual growth, or if you want to be spiritually enlightened, you have to give up money. Now, not all money, but the idea of being wealthy. And he wants you to understand, he's going to share with you this today, that they are not at odds with you. He's going to talk to you about what wealth and spirituality have in common and how they actually help you. Each one helps each other, okay? So we're going to invite in Yogananda, and we're going to invite him in by bringing this Tibetan bell and ringing it, okay? So I want you to take a moment to, as this bell is ringing, to say hello, Yogananda, and invite him in. We're going to invite him into this circle together because we want to bring in the synergy effect of when we bring in two or more people together. And those two or more people can be just you and I and the spirit guide Yogananda, okay? So I guess it's kind of like three, but Yogananda is not in the body anymore, so that's why I say two. So we're going to ring the bell, and I'm going to talk you through a little bit. Now, you can keep your eyes open, or you can keep your eyes closed. If you keep your eyes open, I suggest you gaze into Yogananda's spirit guide portal, all right? So let's just take a moment now and focus on your breath. Focus on that deep belly inhalation, where the belly rises with the inhalation and falls with the exhalation. And just continuing to do that breath, that deep belly breathing at a rate, at a pace that is comfortable for you. And as I ring this bell, just invite in Yogananda, invite in Spirit, invite in God. Just say hello, Yogananda. Hello, Spirit. I invite thy energy, thy vibration into this circle, into this sacred space. And just feel the bell resonating into every fiber of your being. Knowing that this bell resonating is the vibration and energy of Yogananda, who is coming forth. And Yogananda is asking you to open your eyes and gaze into his image, welcoming him in, welcoming his guidance. And Yogananda is coming in and asking you, as you gaze into his image, to just notice as you see him. Are your eyes drawn to a particular area? Or do you see a movement? Or maybe something comes into your mind, or you sense something in your body. And whatever you notice, just know it's a blessing from Yogananda. And Yogananda is coming forth and really wants to talk to you about wealth and prosperity, wealth and spirituality, or I should say wealth and spirituality. He wants to talk about how in our culture, in the world, that wealth and spirituality have gotten kind of a bad rap. Like they've gotten this false belief where people have been programmed to believe that if they're spiritual, they can't pursue wealth, or if they're pursuing wealth, they can't become spiritually enlightened. And he wants you to know that that is a complete falsehood, that there is not 1 ounce of truth in that belief. And so he wants to help you, if you have that belief, to let it go. Okay, and so he wants to explain a little bit that he's saying about wealth and spirituality. He's saying wealth and spirituality, spiritual growth, spiritual enlightenment, okay, creating wealth, whether it's creating wealth financially, or wealth in any area of your life, because wealth, he's saying, is not just money, but he's specifically going to talk a little bit about money today, okay, he's saying. So wealth and spirituality, he said, creating wealth with money and growing spiritually, he says, are actually 2 sides of the same coin. So he says they actually work together to enhance each other and not at odds at all. He's saying the reason why that they work together is each of them in the creation, if you're wanting to become spiritually enlightened or you want to become wealthy in money, the same skill sets that are used to create wealth in money and becoming enlightened are the same. So if you want to create a lot of wealth financially, you have to put out energy, put forth energy towards that desire, right? And some would say you have to have discipline to be doing what you need to do, whatever you're doing to create that wealth. You know, that it doesn't just fall in your lap by going, I wish it would be here. So he's saying that discipline you also can use in growing spiritually. The other thing, like when you want to create wealth in anything, what do? You focus on it, right? And for a lot of time, people, they get so focused, some people would say they're obsessed, and they use that concentration, that focus, and all the projects they're doing to create that wealth financially. Well, that same focus, that concentration can be used in meditation and doing pranayama and doing spiritual practices which help you have or bring forth your awakened self, okay? Because your enlightened, God-realized self is already existing within you. It's how do we get your attention and focus on it? So he's saying that they're not at odds. But he says what happens in the world is often in the pursuit of creating wealth, what does someone do? They let their spiritual practices go. Has that happened for you? Have you done that? Where you go, oh, I'm so busy, I can't do any time for meditation, or I don't have any time to do, if you chant or prayer or whatever your practices are, you just give it a minute, or you don't do it at all. Like I've heard that where people go, oh yeah, I really believe this, I really want to be enlightened, but they let it drop because the pursuit of money becomes so important. And so he's saying what he wants you to understand is that doing your spiritual practices, pursuing spiritual enlightenment, God realization, and creating wealth, like I said, 2 sides of the same coin, so you want to actually honor both of them. You want to honor the importance of both of them. Now, what he wants you to understand is when you actually do your spiritual practices, you meditate, you maybe do pranayama to learn how to control your focus and your energy, because that's what pranayama does. Is people think of it as breath control, and it is, because the breath and mind are connected. So if you calm the breath, you calm the mind. But it really is about learning how to master your energy. You know, how do you master the prana? Because prana is energy. Because when you learn how to master, to direct that energy towards what you desire, then everything flows, okay? So he's saying that the spiritual practices will actually put you, when you're connected to your higher power, whether that higher power is God, Buddha, Allah, spirit guide, the Yogananda spirit guide, you know, whoever it is, when you're connected, when you feel that connection and that like oneness, that everything else in your life flows better. So when you do your practices, it will actually enhance and give more fluidity to your work, to the creation of wealth. You'll see that, oh, things are clicking together better. I follow my intuition better when I actually feel connected to higher power, to my spirit guides. I start to trust it more when you actually put it into place and act on it. And so he's saying that instead of letting it drop off, give it its level of importance right up there with creation of wealth. Because he says the creation of wealth is the second highest goal to becoming enlightened. Okay, he obviously doesn't want you to let go of becoming enlightened, but he says in the land of duality, when you're in the world, he wants you to bring them to at least the equal level, that you put as much importance with doing your practices as you do with going to your business or your job and in creating wealth. And if you're the opposite, let's say maybe you do your spiritual practices, but you don't put a lot of energy into creating wealth. Maybe you have a job where you make money and you barely get by. He's saying that you want to up that side of the equation to equality with how much energy you put in towards, how can I maybe create more wealth? You know, if you're at a job you don't like and you just do it for the money, so how can you have a job that creates the wealth, financial wealth you want, and the joy that you want to be feeling in your life? Because, you know, all the things reasons why you do these spiritual practices are to be what? To be a channel of the divine, to be enlightened, right? The reason you strive for enlightenment or God realization or to grow spiritually is probably because you want to have more joy in your life. Maybe be able to be more loving, more patient. Maybe you want to be more calm or peaceful on the inside. You know, whatever that inner quality you want, which these are all aspects of the divine, the love, joy, peace, calm. You know, maybe you want to feel empowered, you know, wisdom. These are all aspects of the divine. The divine is powerful. You're powerful. You know, the divine is wise, you're wise, but you want to cultivate it, right? Because maybe you have something that covers it up, then doesn't let it out. And so when you actually do your practices and create wealth, you're bringing a synergy effect of those, because each one you do helps the other. Okay? Now Yogananda is saying what he wants you to do and wants you to get, that wealth is more than just money. Wealth is also you stepping into your purpose, the reason why you're on the planet. Wealth is about, you've come here on the planet for a reason, and how do I take a step towards that? Okay? Now, it could be some broad thing if you want spiritual enlightenment, but he's saying specifically, everyone comes here for a reason on the planet, and that you want to be spending some time going, how can I step into my purpose of what I'm here to be and do? Also have, but be and do first, okay? Because the have will come from the being and the doing. But the being first is the most important thing, he's saying, okay? So he's saying he wants to give you this practice. He wants you to actually take a moment and in your day, and he's saying he'd like to see you do it more than once a day, but he's going to just right now ask that you do it at least once a day. You take a moment of quiet time, put your hands on your heart, and you ask yourself, what's true in my heart? And check in with yourself and listen and see what comes up. And whatever comes up, he wants you to write it down. Now he says if you don't sense anything, he's saying he wants you to ask what's true in your heart and start writing. Because for some people, if you're kinesthetic, it's easier to write than to like maybe really sense what it is, or if you've not been one who's been used to being connected and trusting your intuition, you may nix it before it becomes conscious. So he's saying try writing. So he's wanting you to do that at least once a day. If he says if you are really like, I'm motivated, I really want to do this, I want to make this change with wealth and spiritual growth, I want to do both, okay? I want to step into my purpose because I know my purpose is important in me becoming enlightened. Yogananda wants you to get that if you don't act on that purpose, that thing that maybe has been niggling at you, or that you know there's something missing, saying, because those are all signs that if you feel like something's missing in your life, or you kind of feel like, I know there's a purpose, but I don't know what it is, he says it's time. It means you're ready to start taking action on this. You're ready to become open. And the doorway to knowing what your purpose is starting to know what your heart's desires are. You have to listen to the inklings in your heart before you're going to know what your purpose is. And so he's wanting you to do that practice every day if you can. Now he's wanting you to commit to it because he says commitment is the first step, okay? And he says put that commitment down in the comments, the shares. He's saying commit to it that I'm going to do this, okay? So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. And if you like this message and you want to be a blessing to somebody, please share it with someone else. I always like to show, we all want to be blessings in the world. It's one of the things I want to do. And if you like this and want to have more of my videos, please be willing to subscribe, turn on your notifications, and give me a thumbs up because it all helps. All right, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a fabulous, miraculous day. Blessings.